You have lost the chance. The time is up. Just a few minutes ago you lost an opportunity that I sent your way, not directly but indirectly, because I was testing your faith. Yes, my child, you lost that moment, and I allowed it to pass not because I desired your failure, but because I desired your awakening. Do not tremble at the sound of these words as though they are the end of you, for they are not. They are the beginning of clarity. I speak to you now not to crush your spirit, but to refine it, to remove the fog from your eyes and the weight from your heart. You see loss as punishment, but I see it as instruction. You see the closed door and believe I have turned away, yet I remain closer than your breath. I did not withdraw my love when the opportunity slipped by. Love does not withdraw. Love waits, teaches, corrects, and restores. What you lost was not destiny, not purpose, not your future. What you lost was a lesson you delayed learning, and even that lesson I now place before you again, differently shaped, differently timed, but carrying the same truth. I tested your faith not to expose your weakness, but to reveal where you place your trust. You looked for certainty before obedience. You waited for comfort before movement. You asked for signs while ignoring the quiet nudge within your spirit. I spoke softly, and you expected thunder. I guided gently, and you waited for force. This is why the moment passed. Faith is not proven when the path is clear, but when it is dim and still you walk. Do not say, I was not ready, for readiness is born in motion. Do not say, I was afraid, for courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to trust me beyond it. Do not say, I did not hear you, for I have been speaking to you through unrest, through repetition, through the stirring you could not silence. You heard me, but you hesitated. And hesitation is not neutral, it is a choice. Yet hear me clearly now, I am not angry with you. Anger fades, but my patience endures. I am not disappointed in the way humans disappoint one another. I see the whole of you, not just the moment you dropped the weight I asked you to carry. I know the wounds that shaped your caution, the disappointments that taught you to delay, the betrayals that trained you to protect yourself. I know how many times you stepped forward and were pushed back. I know how often you prayed and felt unanswered. I know the exhaustion behind your questions. This is why I speak firmly now, not harshly but truthfully, because softness alone would leave you unchanged, and silence would leave you confused. I speak so you may grow. The opportunity you missed was never about what you would gain outwardly. It was about who you were becoming inwardly. It was about learning to trust my timing over your calculations, my whisper over your logic, my presence over your fear. You believed that missing it meant failure, but the real failure would have been to never understand why it passed. There are seasons when I give quickly, and seasons when I withhold briefly, so you may learn discernment. You are in a season of sharpening. I am teaching you the weight of delay and the cost of indecision, not to shame you, but to free you. You have lived too long believing that waiting is always wisdom. Sometimes waiting is avoidance dressed in caution. I did not remove the opportunity to punish you. I removed it to protect you from repeating the same pattern at a larger scale. Had you moved forward without learning this lesson, you would have carried hesitation into places that require boldness, and fear into spaces that demand trust. I would rather correct you now than allow you to stumble later where the fall would be heavier. Listen to me. I am not done writing your story. Do not close the book because of a single page. Do not label yourself by a single moment. Redemption is not only about forgiveness, it is about redirection. I redirect you now. What you must understand is this: opportunities come and go, but obedience remains. When you learn obedience, opportunities multiply. When you learn trust, timing aligns. I am more concerned with the posture of your heart than the speed of your progress, but posture must eventually lead to movement. You ask why I did not intervene more clearly, why I did not stop you, why I did not make it impossible to miss. Because I desire relationship, not control. I desire willing trust, not forced compliance. I allow space for choice because love without choice is not love at all, and faith that is never tested is faith that cannot mature. You are not forgotten. You are not behind beyond recovery. You are not disqualified. But you are being invited to change the way you respond when I speak. Next time, do not wait for reassurance from the world when I have already spoken peace into your spirit. Next time, do not seek permission from fear when I have already granted authority. Next time, move. I know you are afraid of making the wrong decision. I know you fear regret. But understand this: obedience never produces regret, even when the outcome is difficult. Regret comes from ignoring what you knew was right. You felt the pull. You felt the urgency. You felt the narrowing of time. That was not pressure from chaos. That was alignment calling you forward. Do not mourn the lost moment as though it were irreplaceable. I am not limited by moments. I am the author of time itself. What you missed in one form can return in another, but only if you carry the lesson forward. If you cling to guilt, you will miss the next invitation. If you cling to self-blame, you will mistake humility for punishment. Release both. I call you to reflection, not condemnation. Ask yourself why you hesitated. Ask yourself what you were protecting. Ask yourself whose voice you trusted more than mine. These questions are not meant to wound you, but to heal you. Awareness is the doorway to transformation. I see the good you desire. I see the growth you long for. I see the future you imagine but do not yet believe you deserve. You do. Not because you are flawless, but because I am faithful. My faithfulness does not depend on your perfection. It meets you in your imperfection and carries you forward. Do not let this moment harden you. Let it humble you. Do not let it silence you. Let it sharpen your hearing. Do not let it shrink you. Let it stretch you. There will be another call, but it will sound different. There will be another door, but it will not wait as long. There will be another test, but it will require quicker obedience. Prepare now. Strengthen your discernment. Quiet the noise that competes with my voice. Learn to move when you sense alignment, not when you feel fearless. I am teaching you that faith is not proven by endless prayer alone, but by action that follows prayer. That trust is not declared with words alone, but demonstrated with steps. That belief without movement remains incomplete. You are not alone in this learning. Many before you have hesitated, doubted, delayed, and many learned, grew, and moved forward stronger. You are part of a long story of becoming. Do not isolate yourself in shame as though you are the only one who stumbled. Even the strongest falter before they stand firm. I remain with you now. I do not withdraw because you missed a moment. I draw nearer because you are ready to understand. Sit with this truth, but do not linger in it too long. Reflection has its time, but so does forward motion. Lift your eyes. The road ahead is not empty. It is simply waiting for a different version of you, the one who listens sooner, trusts deeper, and moves with intention. Become that version. I am shaping you for it. When the next opportunity comes, it will not announce itself loudly. It will feel familiar, yet urgent. It will challenge you in the same place you once hesitated. That is how you will know it is from me. And when it comes, do not ask if you are ready. Decide to be faithful. I am patient, but I am purposeful. I am gentle, but I am precise. I do not waste lessons, and I do not abandon my children. Walk with me now, not in fear of loss, but in confidence of guidance. Because I do not speak without purpose, and I do not send signs without intention. Everything I release carries direction, and every instruction I give is meant to align you with life, not confusion. You must learn to discern my signs because they are not random and they are not decorative. They are not given to impress you or to make you feel spiritual. They are given to guide you, to protect you, and to position you where my will can unfold without resistance. Many hear my voice, but few understand my language. I speak through circumstances, through interruptions, through repetition, through conviction, through peace that defies logic, and through unrest that refuses to be ignored. I speak through people you did not expect, and moments you did not plan. I speak through doors that open easily and through doors that close firmly. Yet too often you observe without discerning, and you analyze without obeying. This is why clarity escapes many who believe they are listening. You want certainty before obedience, but discernment grows through obedience itself. You want guarantees before movement, but I reveal more once you move. My signs are not puzzles meant to frustrate you. They are confirmations meant to be followed. When you delay obedience while waiting for additional confirmation, you signal distrust. Not always consciously, but spiritually. You say you trust me, yet you hesitate as though I may mislead you. This is why discernment matters. It teaches you to recognize my consistency and trust my character. Understand this. Discernment is not suspicion. Discernment is intimacy. You discern my signs not by overthinking them, but by knowing me. A stranger analyzes, a child recognizes. The more you walk with me, the clearer my direction becomes. You do not need to fear deception when your heart is anchored in truth. But when you distance yourself from my presence, you rely on logic alone, and logic without spiritual alignment leads to delay, confusion, and missed instruction. I do not give signs to overwhelm you. I give them to simplify your path. It is the noise you allow that complicates what I have made clear. When I speak in alignment with my nature. I will never contradict my truth, my love, or my purpose for your growth. When something draws you closer to humility, integrity, courage, and obedience, that is not coincidence. That is alignment. You must discern my signs because time matters. There are moments that require immediate obedience, not prolonged debate. There are seasons where hesitation costs more than action, not because I am impatient, but because life moves and opportunities are woven into timing. When you discern correctly, you move in rhythm with me. When you ignore or delay, you move out of alignment and then wonder why things feel strained. I see how often you question whether it is truly me speaking. I understand your fear of making a mistake. But know this, I am more concerned with your willingness to obey than with your fear of imperfection. When your heart is genuinely seeking me, even your missteps can be corrected. What cannot be corrected easily is persistent disobedience disguised as caution. Discernment requires stillness. You cannot hear me clearly when your spirit is constantly agitated. You cannot recognize my signs when your attention is divided among countless voices. You cannot understand my instruction when you only seek confirmation that agrees with your comfort. To discern, you must quiet yourself enough to notice what repeats, what presses, what aligns with truth, even when it challenges you. Many signs I send are subtle because subtlety reveals trust. If I shouted every instruction, you would obey out of pressure, not faith. If I forced every decision, you would never grow in discernment. I want you to recognize my movement without needing spectacle. I want you to sense alignment without needing drama. This is how maturity forms. You must do exactly what I tell you to do because partial obedience is not obedience. Delayed obedience is not obedience. Modified obedience to fit your comfort is not obedience. When I instruct you, it is because I see what you cannot. I see the outcome, the consequence, the unseen connection between moments. I see how one step opens the next, and how hesitation disrupts the sequence. When you obey selectively, you break the flow of what I am building. You ask me to bless what I did not instruct. You ask me to protect what I warned you to avoid. You ask me to fix what obedience would have prevented. This is not condemnation. It is truth spoken so you may learn. I never instruct you to harm yourself, diminish your worth, or abandon love. When I call you to let go, it is because holding on will cost you more. When I call you to step forward, it is because staying still will weaken you. When I call you to speak, it is because silence will compromise integrity. When I call you to wait, it is because movement would place you outside my covering. Discernment teaches you not only what to do, but when to do it. Timing is as important as action. A correct action taken at the wrong time can still produce strain. This is why listening matters. This is why exact obedience matters. I do not instruct vaguely. If you feel confusion, it is often because you are filtering my instruction through fear or desire instead of faith. You must discern my signs because not every opportunity is from me, even if it looks good. Not every open door leads to growth. Not every voice that affirms you speaks truth. Discernment protects you from distractions disguised as blessings. It guards you from detours that drain your energy and delay your purpose. I see how easily you become distracted by what looks urgent instead of what is important. I see how often you prioritize immediate relief over long-term alignment. My signs often ask you to choose discipline over impulse, trust over control, faith over familiarity. This is not to deprive you, but to mature you. When I tell you to act, it is because the moment is prepared. When I tell you to refrain, it is because the cost is hidden. When I tell you to separate, it is because compromise is forming. When I tell you to commit, it is because growth requires consistency. These instructions are not arbitrary. They are protective. You must learn to discern because the world is loud, and not everything that feels right is right. Feelings shift, but truth remains. My signs will often bring peace even when the decision is difficult. If something excites you but disturbs your spirit, pause. If something challenges you but grounds you in clarity, pay attention. This is discernment at work. Doing exactly what I tell you requires humility. It requires surrendering the need to fully understand before obeying. You do not need full clarity to take the next step. You need trust. I reveal direction progressively because growth happens progressively. If I showed you everything at once, you would rely on sight instead of faith. You are not called to figure everything out. You are called to follow. Following does not mean blind submission. It means informed trust. It means recognizing my voice through consistency, truth, and alignment with love. It means choosing obedience even when your emotions resist. I know you fear loss when you obey. You fear letting go of what is familiar. You fear stepping into uncertainty. But understand this: obedience never leads to emptiness. What I ask you to release is never greater than what I prepare to give, but you must trust the exchange. Discernment sharpens through practice. Each time you obey, your spiritual senses strengthen. Each time you delay, confusion grows. This is why I urge you to act when I speak. Not impulsively, but faithfully. Not recklessly, but obediently. I do not require perfection. I require willingness. I do not demand flawless execution. I desire faithful response. When you move with sincerity, I guide your steps. When you resist, I allow consequences to teach what instruction could not. My signs are consistent. They will not contradict my truth. They will not lead you into pride, harm, or isolation. They will draw you toward responsibility, integrity, courage, and love. They will often require sacrifice because growth always costs something. But that cost is an investment, not a loss. You must discern because obedience positions you where protection exists. Many difficulties you face are not punishments. They are outcomes of ignoring instruction. I do not abandon you in those moments, but I allow you to learn. Yet how much smoother your path becomes when you listen. Exact obedience matters, because details matter. What seems small to you may be critical to the outcome. A delay, a compromise, a substitution can shift alignment. This is not about control. It is about precision. I see the whole pattern. You see only the thread in your hand. Trust me enough to follow without editing my instruction. Trust me enough to move even when others do not understand. Trust me enough to wait when others rush. Trust me enough to release what feels safe when I tell you it is limiting you. You are learning discernment not for one moment, but for a lifetime. Each season will require listening. Each transition will require obedience. Each calling will require trust. This is how you remain aligned. I speak because I care. I guide because I see. I correct because I love. When you discern my signs and do what I tell you, you walk in alignment, and alignment produces peace even in difficulty. Choose to listen. Choose to trust. Choose to obey. I am with you in every step, and I do not lead without purpose. Amen.